Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing founder interview for you guys today. We got Bootoshi of the Bitcoin Boos. This guy, he's been around since early days. This is one of the first PFP collections, the first collections period. We're gonna get some really inside stuff of what was going on back then and how it all evolved from then to what we got today. So it's gonna be a really exciting interview. I really can't wait to jump right in. So without further ado, let me bring in my partner, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on? I feel like I just saw you.
We just got done doing our weekend update. Now we're jumping right into a founder interview. We like to give you guys a bunch of these every week, but today we have Bootoshi.
Yeah, man. Talk about OG in the space. Bootoshi in his collection. We're talking about a 3,000 inscription. I think it goes all the way to, let me see here, 14,000. So, you're talking about like one of the Grail OG collections in the space. So yeah, he has all the experience of, right before it took off and then when it took off and kind of that really kind of dead period, I would say, like what from the outside perception, and then where we are today. So I'm really interested in digging into his mind and seeing his thoughts of how everything's evolved and the future of Bitcoin Boos as well.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to dig into what's next for these guys because I feel like with the game and the collection and stuff, I feel like he's gonna be dropping something soon. But we'll find out. So without further ado, let me bring in Bootoshi. Bootoshi, welcome to Ordinal Revolution, sir.
What's up, gang? What's up, Shizzy? What's up, Yagobi? That intro was so fire. I feel like I'm part of a professional show. Like, this is actually super sick. That sounded like
Appreciate the kind words, man.
We try to do our best to keep everything consistent. I like consistency, so we try to make everything kind of wind into each other. So
no, it's a signature. It's sick.
Thanks, man. All right, man. I'm so thankful for you to be on the show. On this show, we love projects. We'll definitely dig deep into your project, but we like to really get to know the person because without good people in the space, we don't have a good space. So if you can take as far back as possible, obviously you're not doc, so you can kind of skip some parts. But if you can kind of give as far back as possible.
I would actually say I did post kind of, I guess it was literally a face reveal of me in the pickle on my thing. So I want to say I'm like semi-docs, but definitely not too much about my past. So I'll jump into around like when Ordinal started because I think that's perfect. But I was in the crypto space for, I would say, that last ETH NFT bull run from 2021. Like one of the earliest things I remember was some Logan Paul Shield project, like Crypto Zoo.
Yeah.
There's also there's so many projects I went to, but I was basically just a degen ETH NFT trader for 2 years straight. That's where I burned a lot of serotonin and somehow still survived it to make it to the space. But after 2 years of consistent trading, I've gone through like so many projects as a trader, and there's been projects where I'm like, well, they could have done X better. Well, okay, this was cool, but they kind of just fucked up and like gave up. Or there were just so many things that I picked up and learned from projects where I was like, well, if I ever become a project founder, I feel like I could do it right. Sorry, my cat was like playing with something. But I think my last like ultimate NFT cook was Other Deed or The Other Side by Yuga. And I took a fat, like several month break. I was like, I'm literally burnt out. Like I was burnt to the space. I would like wake up and I'm like, I don't want to like look at crypto anymore. Like it was just such like a mind fog to participate in the space because it was so competitive. So I took a fat break. I actually went outside. I touched grass. I reconnected with my friends. Because you were part of that bull run, bro. You knew if you went outside, you lost.
Like, you missed something.
You missed some, and it was insane. Like the things I would miss because I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go hang out with my friends today. And then I'm out with my friends. I check Discord, and there's like some crazy fucking alpha call, and everyone in my alpha group is making like 10 ETH. And I'm like, oh, I should not have left my house. It was so toxic. It was actually like a really bad relationship. So I took a fat break. I was like, okay, I'm sick of this shit. I'm done. And then I think I took around just the longest break at the start of 2022. And I didn't come back until October. And even then, I wasn't even a part of the space. I was kind of like doing things. I was like, okay, I'm looking done with crypto. So I didn't touch it that entire year. Touch graph. I'm like doing other things to make money, trying to like hustle and figure things out.
Yeah.
Still not looking at crypto. And just one fateful day on February, I was like, you know what? I feel like this is a fire time to just like, let me check my alpha groups just one last time, like just in case. And then I'm on Discord. I'm like doing something IRL. I think I'm at the store or something. And I see someone's call saying, hey, sign up for this Google form for like these ordinal punks. I was like, what the fuck is an ordinal? And I'm like going through it, and it was like the call was talking about like Bitcoin NFTs, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like some stacks or counterparty bullshit. But I'm like, why is he calling it if we don't like focus on that? And I was reading it, and it was like the first native Bitcoin NFTs, like layer one. I read that. I read layer one Bitcoin NFTs. I literally dropped everything I was doing. I think I physically had something in my hand and I dropped it. And I went home. I just like dashed to my computer because I've been searching for like the last 2 years. I have fumbled so many generational wealth plays where I was like, okay, look, you're gonna take a fat break and you're gonna come back and you're not gonna miss the next gen wealth opportunity because you've learned and you've gone through so many failures. So the moment that I read native Bitcoin NFTs layer one, I was like, that's fucking it. That like it was just a calling to me in my body, and I was like, that's like where that next gen wealth opportunity is for me. Like that's what clicked in my head instantly. So I ran, I was getting set up. I was literally watching like these YouTube videos where Casey was introing a college class into what ordinals is and like how to set up a node and everything. So I would like follow along, got all of that set up. And I remember it was like the early couple hundreds on ordinals.com, and I'm like going through it and I'm like, bro, just like I knew from experience, I was like, this is so fucking early. And I know that NFT degens love their numbers. So if we could get something early and we could actually drop a fire collection, I think that it would have a lot of value. And nobody really knew like how it was gonna go. We just kind of said, fuck it, and we balled and we started dropping boos. And that is the origin of Bootoshi.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, that's an amazing, start to an even more amazing story that I know that's gonna finish, right, or continue on. But okay, so did you have like a couple close guys to you, or like a couple, like a team that you could work with to create the boos, or is this something that took you, a couple weeks to develop the concept of the character and all that stuff?
No, when Ordinals came out, we literally went on the spot. So I started the project with my co-founder Bootoshi, and we were all part of an FNF. And an FNF is basically, it's called a friends and family, and it's like a small group of the closest people you meet in the space. And typically, like all it is just dropping like the most fire alpha and sharing it with each other. So it was shared in that group, and then I was like trying to figure out someone I could trust. I was like, bro, like I want to drop a project with somebody. And then I was like, Blue would be so fucking down. I hit him up and he was down off rip. I was like, okay, we're running it. And when it came to making the boos, we were just like messing around with some template. We didn't know what. We were going through like hundreds of iterations using like Dali for assistance. And I'm like, I want to drop. I had this weird random vision before Ordinals came out where I was like, dude, it'd be so fire, like some retro pixel NFT project. And I was like, I never run an NFT project though. And then Ordinals came out, and then the idea came, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run a retro NFT project. So then we just started like drawing stuff. We found a base, and I was like, okay, that base fucks so hard. And we just started making variations with it. We had an artist friend help us drop like 50 different variations, and me and Blue made 50. And just started inscribing the moment we would finish a piece, we would inscribe.
Yeah.
And that's essentially how that start went.
How was like the rush process? Because obviously you want to get the lowest numbers possible, right? But you want to put out quality shit. So I guess you were just like, oh, let's go. Was it like that?
Oh my god, we didn't sleep for a week. If you ask anybody in the ordinal space, like during the dawn of like the first week of February, nobody slept, bro. It was like the most adrenaline-packed week I think anybody has had in a while, because the space was just so dead. And then it came back, and it's like you just feel the energy, you feel the race, because like everyone in that moment knew. And it was like low-key PvP, but not PvP. It was just like, fuck, there's like so many things coming out, so many projects coming out. But it was an adrenaline-packed week with no sleep. And it was honestly like one of the most fun weeks of my life, I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome. So was it OTC whenever your collection dropped? Were people still trading OTC?
Dude, it was like it would be the craziest shit because we are on spreadsheets, right? But nobody really had full control of their assets yet because it was like, oh, you got to go through this process, get a sparrow. So what a lot of people did is literally just trade on the spreadsheets. So you would have people flipping booze or flipping like any projects for several $1,000 profit without even touching it. And all we had to do as creators was just switch the name on the Google spreadsheet. It was like the most wildest thing.
So would they be sent to their Sparrow wallet?
Yeah,
though?
so it's
Okay.
like I would encourage, because a lot of people would prefer us to just hold escrow, and it would stress me out. I'm like, bro, you just spent like several $1,000s on this. Like, can I not like hold custody of it? So I would encourage people to like do the Sparrow, walk them through on how it works. And I got a lot of booze early on, like secured in Sparrow wallets, but a lot of people prefer to just like keep it in escrow and was just like trading. So I'd literally be up, like I wouldn't sleep because I'm like, okay, well, there's people in like EU time that want to buy a boo. So I'll literally switch and then just be there like escrowing and switching names on a spreadsheet. And I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. This is insane.
And that kind of goes against everything that Satoshi ever dreamed of, right? There was no Bitcoin, but we're trusting everyone.
Dude, it totally did. It was the most degen thing ever because it's like, am I gonna trust this random anonymous Discord account that literally just made itself 2 days ago with several $1,000s? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also, like, when you think about, Satoshi in the beginning, like, he had to get people to trust him too, though, right? And so I think there's always that process of like centralization, as much as we hate to say it in the space.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just a part of how what systems work in the beginning.
Yeah, it's just how humanity works, I think. But it was also cool because it was like a high risk, high reward thing. Because if you did this degen thing and you got in and you kind of saw the future of native Bitcoin NFTs and like historical number inscriptions, you were able to get some cheap dank inscriptions early on.
Yeah.
So if you just stack that was a fat dub.
Which is now, a lot of those, early inscriptions are selling for, potentially 1 Bitcoin, right? Like, so it's pretty crazy.
TM, sub 10K for 1 Bitcoin, soon TM.
Yeah. Yep. So actually, Shizzy, I wanted your perspective on this because we were talking about this in their weekly update. But for me, and I could be wrong, but for me, I feel like because this is layer 1 Bitcoin assets, we price everything in Bitcoin now. We have our marketplaces. As Bitcoin like jumps up in value, let's say it triples in value from where we are now till next summer or something.
Yeah,
we're so used to pricing, like, for example, the Bootoshis at like 0.2, even before the ordinals benefit, like they're already winning because like the value is already priced in, and we're not going to just like massively adjust that, or do you think people will?
It's because typically from ETH, when the coin would mega pump, the NFTs would either break because people are like, well, I want to hold the coin. The NFTs would just stay stationary. And then when ETH would kind of sideways, that's when NFTs really ran. I want to say I feel like it'd be the same thing here because like the core concept is the same.
Yeah.
But it's also in this next bull run we're gonna have, like, ordinals is that new factor that has never been a part of any of the previous cycles. We know the liquidity in Bitcoin. We know the people in Bitcoin. Those Twitter posts where you see the market cap of ordinals compared to ETH NFTs, liquidity and Bitcoin liquidity. I see things like that, and I'm like, how wild can this get?
Yeah.
And like, since they're digital artifacts and it's a natural part of Bitcoin, will people view it the same as ETH NFTs? Will it have a different value? So I want to say, just for the sake of how people usually work, that when the coin mega pumps, the JPEGs would break. But I feel like we mega pump when Bitcoin sideways.
Yeah.
And the coin is the biggest play.
100%. And I did mention that too in the update. I said, the price will probably adjust some because people want, I mean, it makes sense logically. You want to put your liquidity in the ride up. But once that ride up happens, people make their profits and they want to make more money because human nature is greedy. And that's when I think like ordinals will really benefit, like you said.
Yeah, I actually made a Twitter post because I was curious. I was like, what's the bull case for ordinals in a bull run where Bitcoin's pumping? And one point that I found super interesting is people using Bitcoin ordinals as leverage against the coin, because I know people do that for ETH NFTs or for ETH. So it's like you have ETH and you want leverage against ETH, you would trade ETH NFTs. I don't know. It was a weird thing, but it made sense in my head.
Gotcha. Cool,
I got you. So basically, owning and let's just say a Bored Ape will give you more. So if ETH pumps, the Bored Ape pumps harder, basically.
Yeah, something like that. Like ETH
Okay.
pumps and its sidelines, and everyone's like euphoric, and it's JPEG season.
Yeah, I got you. It's kind of like playing with house money, right? If your ETH
Yeah.
goes up, it doubles in price. You feel like that half now can go to something potentially because you already made that. Like you can take out house money and put it into something else.
Yeah. Oh, also another big bull point for ordinals pumping when like the market's running is people will just get bored. Like I found Bitcoin so boring before ordinals came out, and now ordinals like came out, and now we have Web3 on Bitcoin, and it's so fun. Like we wouldn't have this entire space if ordinals didn't come out. It's like we literally created a entire culture specifically around ordinals.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nuts, and it's
100%.
fun. It's so fun.
100%.
To your point, everyone's coming back to Bitcoin, right? Like me, I started Bitcoin. First crypto coin I ever bought was Bitcoin, but I left to Ethereum and Phantom and all these other chains. But now, now we have something like that over here on Bitcoin. It's like, well, I'm gonna go back where it all started, and I feel like a lot of people are doing that as well.
A lot of people, like I personally thought Bitcoin was the shittiest coin. I never understood it. Like I literally made fun of it for being a dinosaur coin because I was like, you can't do anything. Like, what's the point? Like, I was one of those people that believed Ethereum would flip Bitcoin, and then ordinals came out. And then I actually took it's actually interesting because when ordinals came out, that's when I took the time to really learn Bitcoin. And then that's when I learned about the history of Bitcoin, how it works, how secure it is. And I was like, wait, this coin is actually sick.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because it's exactly how I ended up back over here, was laughing that the meme pool got congested from BRC20s, and instantly in my mind I was like laughing at Laser Eyes because they had to suffer if they were going to use the mempool. But then like 12 hours later, like that light bulb just went off over my head, and I said, hold on a second, like how much liquidity is over there? And then I realized that like, okay, like any like solid crypto investor always has Bitcoin in their portfolio. I mean, it's just that's how it is for the most part, right? There might be some
it's a
that
staple for them.
Yeah. There might be some that just, but at the same time, it's like, okay, how did the ETH money ever come about? It came about from people that made a ton of money on Bitcoin a long time ago, and then they said they wanted to make more money, and that's how it worked. So in my mind, I said, okay, BRC20s and ordinals makes so much sense. I got to get over there, and then me and Shizzy just came over here. So
that was a crazy point that a lot of people who made Bitcoin want to make more money, so then they drop the liquidity in ETH.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of like strong ETH holders that I've talked to were all originally from Bitcoin.
Yep, 100%.
And then a lot of them came back. So that's
I still think that there's a lot of work to do to get them like a lot of that market share, but I think it will happen. To your point, like it's the new thing. But yeah, so really quick, going back to that crazy period. So you were launching bitcoinboos at the same time. I mean, you're a trader by nature and heart. So in your mind, where you're like, oh crap, like as I'm doing this, I got to make sure I secure some of these other grails. Was that your mentality?
Definitely. I definitely wanted to stack. I'm like, well, people are collecting mine. Like, I want to collect other people's.
Yeah.
So it was cool because early on, all the communities would get together. And we would run like giveaways or fun events with each other where we share either inscriptions or like we share inscriptions with our communities. So I was definitely stacking like my homies' projects and just early sub 10Ks. Like I think about it now, I didn't inscribe anything else sub 10K because I was just focused on booze and I really wanted to get this collection out. But I have a nice little bag, I would say.
Nice.
Gotcha. So you said about a few minutes ago, you said that back then you thought Ethereum would flip Bitcoin. Do you still feel that way?
Hell no.
Okay. I love it.
The only reason why I thought it would flip is because like Ethereum allows us to have that Web3 functionality where it's like connect your wallet, verify your asset, do all of this. Yeah. And I think that's one of the sickest components of Web3 because it's like, whoa, you can literally verify things and get access to things just by connecting your wallet. But now we have that on Bitcoin, and it allows us to have that whole Bitcoin internet. So I'm like, well, now we have functionality on Bitcoin, who's daddy crypto.
Yeah.
Why would any other chain matter? At least to me. And other chains do matter, I think, but I feel like I'm a Bitcoin maxi now.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Once I understood how Ethereum holds their NFTs on AWS, Amazon Web Service, I'm done. I'm done trying to make Jeff Bezos rich, right? I mean, I love his packages come to my house the next day, but as for my
Not
NFTs
convenient.
or my ordinals, I'm done with AWS. And
That was one of the
holding.
things too, because when I was first introduced to NFTs, one of the coolest propositions of it to me, where you get to host or you get to literally hold your NFTs on the blockchain, which is forever. So I'm like, oh, that's so sick. And then it's like pointed to an IPFS, and then one of these projects suddenly stopped paying the AWS bill, and my NFT was a question mark. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep. And just like, a couple months ago, and I say this a lot, but a thing called Goblin Town, project called Goblin Town, free mint, they had their NFTs, and then the OpenSea did something with the royalties, and then they changed all the images to a middle finger. And I didn't own any, but if I did own any, I'd be really upset because I owned the piece of art, and now I just own a middle finger.
Oh no, that
right?
was okay. That was one of the greatest. Oh my god, when Goblin Town did that, that was around the time Ordinals was taking off, where we were like building that community. That was the greatest example that we were just dropping left and right when that happened, because it was just a great meme. It's like, you see Goblin Town, you see how you could have spent 30 ETH on a 1 of 1, and it was changed into a fucking middle finger.
Yep.
Like, are you okay with that? If you buy this asset that you expect to hold, are you okay with just a single person being able to do that? You get hacked or doing some troll thing. It's like, you can't do that on ordinals. So it was great. It was a great kind of like supporting framework for pushing.
That was definitely the aha moment for me, because we were doing a show called DeFi Discussions then, and that was one of the talking points of the show. And then the next like couple of days we're like, oh shit, ordinals, and we're like, oh shit, like this is it, like this changes everything. It's like that was 1, and then this is 2, and it was like an easy transition for us. So
thank you, Goblin Town.
Awesome. Okay, so your journey, as a project founder and being in early, so a lot of the people that were here early, but Ordinals has had its journey, right? Like obviously it was like hyped. A lot of people came from the outside. I mean, Bitcoin was like number 2 in the NFT marketplace in terms of like total volume, and that's having very, very low wash trading, at least trackable wash trading. So it was a big deal. But then what started to happen was, as people realized that they couldn't really flip and grift as much, they started to kind of leave. And there was this narrative of ordinals are dead and all this stuff. So how did you handle the ups and downs being a project founder here of not losing conviction? And how'd you handle all that?
I feel when it comes to that, I was just vibing when the whole market slowed down. I was like, oh my god, I get a breather. I could focus on learning AI things. Like I could just chill, vibe, and just keep my head down. And it didn't shift my conviction at all, because my original conviction, like when I first started, I was like, it's native Bitcoin NFTs. Like that's literally all that matters in my head. Is number 1, native Bitcoin NFTs. Number 2, at all-time highs, Bitcoin was 14 times Ethereum's price. And it's just, I take like the literal liquidity in account. So when I like just put those together in my head, I'm like, it's obvious, at least to me. So no matter what, anything happens, like my whole thing is, as long as I'm here and as long as I show up every day, as long as anybody in the ordinal space just is here and shows up every day, like we just win. And it could be like delusion or whatever, but that's kind of like the base that I back everything off of. That's why I dedicate my life to this, because I'm like, I just have to stay and work on it, and like winning is guaranteed.
100%.
Yeah. And that's the same mentality. I feel like people that stuck with it during the previous bear runs had, and then they benefited from that once the market came back. So I definitely feel you on that. And plus, like, obviously, there's a lot of reasons why you would stay convicted over here. Just the way that ordinals works and all that.
The
stuff
reasoning
too.
to keep stacking up, especially because I go to a lot of IRL events. I've gone to the first ever ordinals meetup in San Francisco, where I got to meet Casey and the Coors team. I don't even know who they were early on. And I was one of the things that actually started my strongest conviction in the ordinal space is I went to that meetup. It was in San Fran. I remember Casey literally grabbing a fork and ringing like a glass to gather everyone's attention, stood up on a table, and he just gave a speech saying how he was so grateful that everybody's here. He was talking about how Ordinals was his literal love letter to Bitcoin, and he started tearing up, like he got emotional. And I was like, there is true passion. Like as he was like crying, like I couldn't help but just crack like a small smile on my face where I'm like, this is the creator of this dank ass protocol. Like that's so bullish. Like this guy puts his heart and passion into this. He's literally crying just talking about it's his love letter to Bitcoin. That's how much he loves Bitcoin. And that's how I knew like he would put immense care into this protocol. And I'm like, yeah, Casey is gonna change our fucking lives.
Dude, how did I not hear about this before?
It was
Like,
probably early on.
It was early.
Wow.
Wait, actually, should I tell that story more? Because it was like early
Please
on.
do. I would love to hear all about that, please.
I think that I actually asked one of the people from Unchained Monkey because it was crazy. Because I went to that event, and this is how I was extra bullish on Ordinals because I minted on-chain monkeys. Like I knew how sick it was, like first on-chain on Ethereum. I knew how smart Danny was. So when I went to that first meetup, literally half of the people there were all on-chain monkeys. I was like, is this like an OCM meetup or is this like an Ordinals meetup? And it was an Ordinals meetup. But anyways, they're super sweet. And one of the OCMs named Sophia literally bought like the top floor so we could all chill there for the meetup. And that's how I got to like talk to everybody. But yeah, he did that speech. I was like, I've actually never felt, I usually am not one to really like be swooned over by people talking or like presidential speeches or whatever. I'm like, oh, whatever, whole lot of bullshit. But then hearing this in person, I was like actually inspired. That was the first time I've ever felt inspired. And I was like, I have to do Casey proud and like just contribute to this. Because I was like, I don't know. Just in a moment, he literally felt like my hero in that moment. And I told him that, and he was like, I'm not ready for that, but thank you.
That's crazy. What month was that?
That was in, I want to say like late February or early March.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so early on. Yeah, honestly.
When it first came out.
Yeah, I actually, so I was one of the people that kind of took Casey's blog post to the BRC20 situation kind of not the best way. And then I had Charlie, we had Charlie Spears on, CB Spears, and he kind of explained to us off camera and on camera just, you know, the passion that Casey has behind it and kind of the pressure too, because he comes from the, you know, someone that's very, very, very passionate about Bitcoin. And when you have those convictions, then there's people around you that are probably laser eyes, you know? And so he had to find a good balance in between, hey, I'm the creator of Ordinals and I have friends that are laser eyes, and then balance that out. But at the end of the day, you know, it made me definitely reassess my approach to the whole situation.
Dude, they didn't think it would even take off like this. Like it exponentially blew up in just like ways they didn't even expect. And we would like help them too. I remember like NFT New York came out, and that was the second Ordinals event I went to, and it was all hosted in this bar. And like the court team would just ask about like how the ETH NFT, because they didn't know anything about ETH NFTs or like how like that degen market worked. So we would like help them talk about how it works, kind of how things go and like why this is happening in Ordinals, and just kind of like referencing back to how ETH NFTs are traded and stuff like that. So it was like they really had no idea like how this would go or how it would blow up. They just kind of did it. And oh my God, our Ordinals course team is so smart. They're so quick with adapting. Like they know what they're doing now. So it was sick times.
Do you remember any the other speakers or anything at that event?
At the San Francisco meetup?
Yes, yeah.
There
or
were
just
speakers.
the meetup.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was literally just a meetup. It was just like vibes. Casey did like his quick
Gotcha.
speech, and it was just vibes, just talking to each other. Just
That's
people
awesome.
who believed in this thing early on. I was there with Paz and Mr. E, and there are a couple other Ordinal OGs, but those were like the homies I was with.
Wow, that's insane. It wasn't even like a conference. It was just a meetup. That's so awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're so lucky, bro. That story, you're gonna tell your grandkids that. They're like, oh wow.
Like, yeah, like I was at the first meetup ever. Like, no big deal. Like,
it's like that meme where the kid's on the floor and he's like, fucking legend.
No, it was funny. I was like looking at my friends. I was like, bro, this feels like, especially because we're in San Francisco. I'm like, this feels like a Silicon Valley moment. Like nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! That great guy's amazing
Yeah,
story,
that's
man.
a
So
good- yeah.
let's hop into Bitcoin booze a little bit. So basically, what does this project mean to you? And what do you have cooking?
Oh, this project genuinely means everything to me. Like I've never had so much passion and conviction to just work on something. And like every day I do stuff. I'm like just happy to have a community. I'm just happy to like do fun AI things. Like this is really my child, or me and Blue's child. And I I honestly just love it. Like I've dedicated my life, like the past 9-10 months now of work is just like all been Bitcoin booze. Everything I do, like I learn, it was actually crazy. Like I learned skills for Bitcoin booze. Like I hit the gym and stay healthy for Bitcoin booze.
I eat food and survive for Bitcoin booze.
I eat healthy for Bitcoin booze. But no, it's like it's genuinely my motivation because it's like I want to be a top project. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be that top project, and that involves being healthy, having clear mental state, starting therapy, like all these crazy shit to just be, or all these normal things that I was too lazy to do, to be a peak human. So I could be a peak human in thinking for this project. But that's what Bitcoin booze means to me. And in terms of what was the second part of the question?
What's cooking?
What's cooking? So I recently just dropped my AI soul framework on the Discord, which my whole thing with Bitcoin booze and my early kind of, I guess, hypothesis or theory or whatever I wanted, just like a thought I had, was if I could use AI to bring this story to life, that would be the most fun storytelling I could do without actually knowing how to like tell stories. So the first thing I ever did was drop this Discord mascot named Questboo, which is just a character that brings a story to life. And it's a Discord bot that embodies one of the boos and how I envision them and talks to people in Discord. So it could immerse them in the story, talk about things from the story, talk about the kingdom and stuff like that. And people love it. It was like so great for community interaction and just talking to people, just having fun. Like it was so fun. So over time, I've just been honing AI skills. I was like, okay, Ordinals is the future, Bitcoin is the future. The second future is AI tech. And if I could learn this and master this now as AI advancements keep coming out, then I could actually have a way to provide genuine value to my project and my community. So I've been hard focusing AI for the past like 6 months, learning coding straight. And recently I was able to drop a soul framework, which allows me to do that initial thing of bringing the characters to life on Discord. But now they could actually feel, think, build meaningful relationships with people, and just really like bring the story to life if you talk to them. And like, I love doing fun things for whitelists. I don't like boring things for whitelists because I'm like, well, it's just the whole like gamified process of doing something and achieving it makes people more likely to mint your project. This is what I noticed when I first dropped this. So I was like, okay, like let me continue making more fun things. So one of the things to do to obtain whitelist now is talking to these boos who do have feelings and soul and emotion and befriending them. Because if you befriend them, they'll be like, I fuck with you, I'm gonna recruit you, and that's basically whitelist.
Wow.
So a lot of the things I do is like it's all AI focused. I really am passionate. The second greatest thing I have passion for that I've also discovered just because of Ordinal is AI. So I'm working on that. I just do whatever fun experiences, fun games to make the project fun. But it's also a way for me to provide legitimate value to the community. Because to me, AI literally 50 times my efficiency in my life and my learning. So I'm like, I could help guide my holders. I could teach AI classes. I could show them how to make money off of AI. I could show them how to just be more efficient with AI and just like do all these things, or even provide tools that'll benefit their businesses or like their personal life, which I've already made for holders.
Yeah.
And just like working with their specific use cases. So it's just sick to be able to like actually be like, hey, you hold this JPEG, but you also get these sick utility and opportunities that other businesses would pay thousands for. So that's like one of my ways of just, I don't know, showing my holders I care and that like I'm learning a skill so I could do all of this for us.
Yeah, it's definitely a class that I would take. So definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's really smart to incorporate an emerging technology like AI because first of all, it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna be like a huge market, but you know, it's almost instantly adding value to your community. Yeah, I think it's great. Excited to see, you know, where that goes. I want to play around and kind of talk to the characters once that is it ready right now?
Yeah, they're live on Discord.
Nice.
I am doing hella bug patching and fixing as they come up. Because you can't really like this is live testing for me as well, since it's, I would say it's like beta, but concepts there. I dropped it. You can talk to the characters anytime on Discord now.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I want to show your project real quick, if you don't mind. So these are the Bitcoin boos.
Yes.
Floor price is 0.2. The Genesis boos, okay. And yeah, these are freaking fire, bro. Absolute fire.
I love the early inscriptions that definitely have that 8-bit style theme to them, because it also it shows the history of evolution of ordinals. You know what I mean?
I love that. That was my favorite thing at the start of Ordinals. Like a lot of things were pixel retro based, kind of paying tribute to the OG internet.
Exactly. And I think it's gonna hold a lot of value because of that. Like especially the ones that have recognition and stuff, like the boos do.
Have you guys gone on the website?
Yeah, Shizzy was on it right before
we
jumped on. It's bitcoinboos.com if you want to pull that up, Shizzy.
Yeah, pull it up.
So it seems like a game. He was playing the game, weren't you?
Yeah, I was messing around with it. Really cool.
I love it. That was like one of the first things I worked on when the project came out.
So cool,
like
man.
Envisioning
click there. What's the concept of the game? Is it just kind of like just an 8-bit style game, kind of like a early Nintendo style game where you just have to beat the levels, or?
So the one we're working on, which is the RPG mud, is this is such like an extra bad. Have you guys ever played Black Ops?
I have.
Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember, like, if you're in the chair in the lobby screen, you're able to like break out of the like restraints of your chair and walk around as an Easter egg?
Oh shit! I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Okay, so that's something you're able to do. And if you walk to a computer, there was a terminal there, and you got to play this mud game where you would just type things, and like that's how you do your actions, and that's how you navigate through the story. And I was like, wait, this is so fun. And I was like looking through other types of RPG muds, where it's like you literally just type, and it's this entire kind of like RPG. It's mostly text-based, but it was fun. And I was like, oh, I feel I could make a fire game using AI and then create kind of the self-evolving world where people's actions kind of have a ripple effect on each other. So that's what the RPG mud game is.
Nice.
It's a text-based thing. We'll have like scenes and visuals to try to like make it fun. And eventually, like, mint funds come in or whatever, we could actually upgrade it to a full visual game, so you don't have to just like full type. But for now, it's going to be a game where you type your actions, and it's this live story that unfolds as you do your actions or type in chat. Awesome. And that's the whole thing. And there's like item drops or skills. Like your book, you could literally, if you go on boos.quest and connect your wallet to the site, that's how you get your character.
That's really cool.
It's boos.quest.
Boos.quest.
Yeah, so we already have a thing. You're able to connect your wallet. You're able to verify your boo, and you can actually edit your character on site if you connect your wallet.
Yeah.
So like click on the Boo King.
Okay, 1 second. Let's put this in. All right, connect it. Click on the Boo King.
Yeah. So like one of my favorite things about being able to do this is the custom ability you have for your boo. Because I'm like, it's your boo, that's your character. Like literally, you shape it. So once you connect your wallet to the site, you're able to edit the bio, edit the personality, and like edit its backstory, and basically give life and your personal takes on your character. And what I do is I take that personality and I take those backstories and those bios, whatever else you do, and I use that info to bring the characters to life on Discord. So that's how people can shape their own boos and like how they act and how they interact with people.
Nice.
And that also serves, like, this page and this website also serves as like your login for the RPG mud. So once that's actually up, there's literally going to be a play button on top. You click play, you get to select which boo that you're going to work with that day or what boo you're going to play. And then you just run the game, and all your stats will be saved according to your ordinals.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like a social profile in a sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, man. So you said whitelist. What is it the whitelist for? So
the whitelist is for the up 3,500 soldiers called the Bootoshis. And we originally dropped, like when we first came out with that whole thing, we dropped a video, which is the pin post on Twitter, to kind of like bring an intro to that whole storyline. And that's been super fun. And those are also, so all of those characters will be like how you get access to the RPG game. Those are going to be like your assets, your login, access to the Discord.
Gotcha. This is right here, right? It's really cool.
That's on my personal. Go on the project Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's that first video, and that's basically the intro. We dropped it way back. I really thought the collection was gonna come out like much faster than that, but it's almost December. Hopefully we'll be out by Q1, but I'm really just waiting on my Ord client to index so I can inscribe it all like the parent-child stats. It's gonna be like mega A's because I have to inscribe it one at a time for like my specific use case on how I want to do it. So it will take around a month to fully inscribe the collection. But then when that's done, I'm not really trying to time the market. I'm just trying to have them ready.
That's pretty cool.
That's a dope video. I'm sure that you have some talented graphic designer / video graphics.
if I have to like call myself out, I mean, I really don't like Upwork. It's all Upwork work.
Oh,
like,
nice.
well, I don't know how to do it.
Hey, that's smart, man.
I have the vision and I know how to direct.
100%.
So just like hire people on Upwork to help me with everything. When I first came out.
Yeah. And that's smart. I mean, and obviously I've used Upwork in my past, just like with websites and stuff. And so for me, I feel like it's a little bit higher quality. I mean, I don't know about a little bit, but higher quality than Fiverr.
Oh no, definitely is. It definitely is.
So
that was also like my main thing. I don't really talk about that aspect, not because I'm ashamed, but it's just kind of like, well, it doesn't matter where the work came from because the work is present.
Dude, like your job is being like, your job is being an amazing project manager. That's, you 100%. Know, when it comes down to it. So, you know, as long as you get the project done and stuff like that.
And stuff slaps, y'all. Sure. I definitely will. Like when the site comes out and like everything comes out, like everybody who's worked on this, because like one of my visions is that like, okay, we become like a fat project, and the people who help make this possible, like the people on Upwork and people I've hired, I'm able to like put them on site. And then people will see, oh, these people worked on this project that's banging, and then like be able to funnel them more work.
100%.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, this was an amazing interview, amazing show. This part of the show, we kind of give you the stage to talk to our community about really anything you want. So the stage is yours.
Anything I want. That's a great time for my mind to go playing. I'm hyper mega bullish on ordinals. I feel insane every time I talk about ordinals because I'm like, it's so obvious, like it's so primed. It's just like there's literally no opinion that could change my mind besides just like these hard facts. If you want to be mega bullish like me on ordinals, I highly suggest go and checking out an IRL event if you haven't been to one yet. We have Miami coming up in December for Art Basel. It's going to be Ord Basel. Nice. That event will slap really hard. Amsterdam slap really hard. And everybody who goes to these in-person events like literally leaves the event feeling hyper bullish. Like after Amsterdam, everyone was like grinding on Twitter again. The energy was there. It's like you go in person, and one of my highest conviction things when you asked me that question way back, where it was like, what makes you so convicted in ordinals? Besides the whole, it's on Bitcoin, it's on the creator of all crypto, whatever, you know, light fact. It's the people who are in the space and working on the space, and just everyone who's helped push the space forward, everyone who has the passion and willpower to like all have this shared vision of this is obvious for us. All we have to do is work on it. That's everybody working on ordinals right now. Like everybody is highly convicted. Everybody's extremely smart. Everybody's making high plays and just like really chugging shit. Because like without the people in the space working on it, without the community, it's like we'd really be nothing. So that's where a lot of my conviction from ordinals comes out. Just talking to these people in person, going to these events. But I really don't have much to say besides that. Besides, thank you so much for having me on this podcast, and please check out the Boo Discord server.
Sure. If I wanted to come find you, where's the best place to kind of reach you?
Literally my Discord server. My Discord is my home. Because to me, Discord is just a front end for whatever cool shit we want to drop. So you can find me in my Discord server. I'm literally in there every single day. I talk to everybody as if they're my homies because they are my homies. And I just welcome you to my kingdom. And if you ever want to like just get in direct contact with me, the literal best way is to join my Discord server and just ping me.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
I'll be joining that today. I'm trying to get that whitelist, but that's
gotta work for it, Shizzy.
I'll work for it. I'll work. That was fun. But that's one. Thank you, Bootoshi, man. Your time is precious, and we really appreciate you being here.
Cool. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This was a sick ass show, and I'm looking forward to future interviews you guys do.
Yes,
Awesome.
please. Yep, when you guys do your drop, man, please hit me up. We'll get you guys on. We'll show the whole drop. Give us a quick walkthrough of how everything works, man. It'd be amazing.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Take it
We'll see
easy.
you.
Okay. Peace out, gang.
See ya.
Absolutely amazing. Really appreciate his time, man. Such a cool person, cool individual. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, and then you can just first you can hear the conviction. You don't even have to ask him what it is. I just did it because of the show. I was like, man, this guy's just believes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And but yeah, you know, getting to know him a little bit on a deeper level was awesome today. I feel like the Ordinal community, you know, if they connected like we did with him, man, they're just going to feel even more about, you know, the Bitcoin booze and Bootoshi in general. It just seems like a really easy to talk to individual. And
100%.
there's a lot of people in ordinals like that, you know, and
Yeah.
so I just for new people out there, if you're new to ordinals, you know, don't be scared to reach out. If you're in our spaces, you know, ask to come on stage, ask any questions, because you need to get to know people like Bootoshi, because you know they want to help and assist and educate.
100%. How amazing was that Casey story? Dude, I
It
was
was-
like, what? That's wild.
I mean, it made me feel even a little bit more bad whenever I was like, I clowned on him for that one episode, but like, yeah, I mean, you know, I definitely could see more and more as I talk to
Yeah.
more people that are closer to him.
Dude, I saw that as a movie when he said that. Like, I saw it as like that's the opening to the Ordinals movie. Casey on top of the thing with a freaking fork and a cup going ding, ding, ding. Can I have your attention, please? Like, that was like the opening. That should be the opening scene of the Ordinals movie. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. All right, guys. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you commenting, liking. If you cannot watch, you can definitely listen more on Apple or on Spotify. We appreciate every single view, every single listen. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
See you guys.